Hi guys, this is Lucid Layla, and today I'm with one of my best friends, Nicky Alice. He's a dream artist and also a fellow lucid dreamer. And if you guys are ever in Orange County, check out his Dream Circle.
Yeah, the Dream Circle. We meet in Fullerton downtown the first Wednesday of every month from 8 to 10 p.m. We've been going a little over 3 years now, and we have a nice little family of dreamers, and it's super special. And I love everybody that comes, and it's a cool place to just come and share your dreams and expand your knowledge, and just share with like-minded people. Yeah, I know. I can't believe it's been 3 years, and that's actually how I met her, which is super cool. She's been a very good aspect of the Dream Circle. It's nice to have you there.
Oh, thank you. So, do you want to maybe introduce a little bit? What do you do? How did you get into dreaming and your background?
Well, I've been like lucid dreaming since I was a child. I've been studying my own dreams since I was like 20. I've been writing them down. I have journals and journals of dreams. I also attended the School of Metaphysics for a couple of years for their Dream Scholar program to eventually be a dream coach. But I've been doing a lot of my own research, just reading Jung and Wagner, all the greats, and just putting all my knowledge together. And I like to share that with all the dreamers that come to the circle, as well as learn from them as well. So if anybody is in the Fullerton area, just look us up. Fullerton Dream Circle. I can't go wrong with that.
I posted on Facebook and asked if you guys have any questions, what you'd like me to address with Nikki. And one of the comments was actually just comment a little bit on dry spells. And pretty much, here's already the inside. I went and I had a dry spell in terms of motivation, kind of like a leg. And Nikki shared a really cool dream task with me and us that really sparked my motivation back to lucid dreaming. And that's what we're going to talk about today. A really cool dream that you had and a really profound experience.
Yeah, basically, within my reading of all the dreams and studying and practice my lucid dreaming techniques, I like to give myself commands within the lucid dream. So when you become lucid, you can give yourself commands of what you want to do. Obviously, you can go into fantasy, you could control your environment, you could visit people, you could reenact things. Lucid dreams are very good for healing if you want to work through problems or solve problems that you can't in waking life. But one really interesting thing that I came across is using commands. One of the commands is more lucidity now. Pretty hard to stay lucid for a long amount of time. There are certain tips and tricks that you could do, but shouting more lucidity now is a command I like to use to become more lucid. You're more aware. Everything is very vivid. I had a dreamer that came about 3 or 4 months ago, and he mentioned using the command thought forms disappear. And I really put that into work, and I'll share a dream I had, and it was very profound, and I owe it to Adam Cotton, who came to the Dream Circle, bless his little heart. So basically, I went into this dream. I have my journal here, so I'm going to be reading from it. So this happened in July 2017. Basically, I was in the backyard of this party or whatever it was. I became lucid, and at the time, I've been practicing dream character communication, and I think it's really cool when you can communicate with your dream characters. And everybody has something different to say. I find that a lot of the dream characters that are in my dreams, when I try and communicate with them, they usually kind of try and fizz out for some reason. And all the questions I ask, the dream characters usually give me answers that I kind of already knew, or they're kind of hollow. It's
It look weird at you, like, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, like in that movie, the Truman Show, Jim Carrey, where he's an actor, or he's not an actor, but everybody else is an actor, and there's a point where he kind of figures it out, and when he figures it out and kind of calls him on it, all the actors don't really know what to do, and they're kind of like, oh, like the gig's up, like he knows, like what do we do? And that's what I feel that my dream characters do, like a majority of the time. So I can only get so far with this character communication. So basically, I was in this dream, and I used the term more lucidity now, and everything became very vivid. The sky, all these colors. I've seen colors in this dream that I've never seen before. And I felt like all the dream characters in the backyard at this time, there's probably about 20 or 30 of them. And when I became lucid, I felt that they knew that I was going to talk to them, and they became very interested in me, and they started getting close to me. And because there were so many of them, I was very intimidated, and they were kind of like following me in like a zombie-ish fashion. And I felt that they knew I was trying to talk to them, and I felt intimidated. So I backed away, and I tried to meditate. And meditation in a lucid dream is pretty amazing. If you haven't tried that and you're a lucid dreamer and you have any type of meditation practice, I highly recommend meditating in a dream. It will change you in the best of ways, I promise. So I tried meditating in this dream, and as I sat down, the dream characters would come up to me and kind of like tap me, and it was like kind of unreal, because here I am in my own lucid dream, having control over everything, and these characters are like kind of bugging me. And I was kind of like offset a little bit, and then I remembered this term, thought forms disappear. So I used it and I said it, but I feel like the first time I said it, I couldn't quite get it out. So I said it again, and as soon as I said it loudly, all the characters in the dream disappeared. Now, if you think about what thought forms disappear means, thought forms are all of your subconscious mind matter. So anything that you're dreaming, anything that you create is your thought forms. Now, when you use the term thought forms disappear, everything disappears that you created. And I was at that point where all the characters, they kind of did this little twist move and went upwards in the sky, and all of them left. And I was left with this empty landscape and this table, and there was these three beings.
1 second. Though.
Yes.
I remember you told me when you told me about the dream the first time that when you tried to say the second time, it was almost like you were to utter a magical spell or something like that, right?
Yeah, I had a difficult time. I mentioned I had to say it twice. It was almost like it was kind of like this secret, I felt like Zelda that unlocked the secret and this passage opened up. That was the feeling I got. And the first time I said it, it was almost like it wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
And the second time I said it with like more oomph,
Yeah.
and it worked.
Because that's magical right there. I think I had feelings like that, and that's why I want to bring it up. It's a pretty cool feeling. It's almost like someone's watching what you're doing, and there's a rule in the universe, and all of a sudden you're like bordering to the rules of the dreamscape. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I felt like it was something that I really needed to have the intent to have, So I had the intent, I said it, and so everything disappeared. And this is the first time that I've had a lucid dream where everything disappears because I wanted it to. And you think about it, what are you going to be left with? And you're left with something that you didn't create. And my goal here was to communicate with some other form of consciousness. And so it was at this point where I saw this table, and there was these three beings at this table. And as I approached the table, I knew that they were not from my physical realm, and it is not something that I created. These beings were here because I was in their world, it seemed. And describing these beings, there was three of them. They were tall, very dark. Their eyes were dark and kind of sunken in a little bit, and their skin was dark and leathery. And the thing that really caught my attention was all three of them had the same facial features. I wouldn't be able to tell the three apart if they're separate. And I felt that they had this like wisdom to them. And it was funny because they were sitting around this table having a very casual conversation, and I couldn't hear what they were saying, and they weren't moving their mouth. They were just sitting around this table and they were casually talking. And here telepathically, yeah. And my experience with lucid dreams and dream visitations, if you're speaking telepathically, it's a real visitation. It's not something that you created. It's something, some other form of consciousness is there. And I felt very excited. I also felt like I was the little guy, like the new guy. And here I am, trying to communicate with them, and I didn't really know what to say. The only thing I could really think of is, I wanted to ask them and gain some wisdom. So I basically approached them. I said, can you guys give me any advice on how to live a joyous life? And I kind of felt a little stupid at the moment, after saying that, because they all chuckled at me. And I felt kind of stupid, but I also felt like they were kind of amused, like
telepathic chuckle.
Telepathic chuckle. Yeah. Hashtag telepathic chuckle. So when I said that, I felt a little stupid, but it was at that point where one of the beings reached over, and he had a long pointy finger, and he reached over and he touched me right where my heart chakra is. And before I go any further, I must let you know that lately I've been doing a lot of research on where the soul resides in the body, and reading a lot of articles. I came across some interesting ones on, different races, different religions across the globe would have different results if you ask them where their soul resides. Some would point to the head, some would point to the heart, or their solar plexus, or, some wouldn't know. And I just kind of had this question in my mind, and I didn't ask it. And this being reached over and pointed at me, and as soon as he touched me on the chest, I had the words heart chakra go across my vision, and the symbol for heart chakra came up, and the being telepathically said, "This is where you reside." And I had like this shockwave go across my body, like in this whirlwind, that I really kind of achieved this piece of wisdom, and is really unique. And I was very grateful at the moment. So I took one of the other beings by the hand, and I basically said, thank you for the wisdom, much love and respect. And it was at that point where I kind of started fading away. And usually in a dream, especially a lucid dream, usually the dream fades away or the characters fade away. But it was in this point where I faded away, like I faded away from their dream. And as I faded away, they went about their casual conversation like it was no big deal. And it was like super, super interesting. I had feelings that I've never really had before, like having this dream. And I felt a little out of place, but I felt really fortunate to have made that connection. And it was no doubt in my mind that these beings were other forms of consciousness, and I believe strongly that the dream realm is a place where you could share experiences with other forms of consciousness like that. I have a lot of lucid dreams where I have visitations from angels, and it's usually at a point in my life where I could use some guidance, and so I ask for them, and they always come from me in a lucid dream. I have plenty of stories in the future. But for this particular dream, as I faded out, I went back into the backyard dream. And although I was slightly lucid at first, I thought I woke up. So in the dream, I got my dream journal and I wrote down the entire dream. I even marked like on my chest where the being touched me. And as I'm writing down this dream, all the dream characters, all 20 or 30 of them, started gravitating towards me, and they were looking at my journal, and they're like, what'd they say? And I thought that was like, wow, okay, if my dream characters knew I was talking to somebody else, like, it was really unique. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm not awake yet. And so I woke up a second time and wrote it down. But that dream was really outstanding, especially with my dream character communication being that on mind. And that's one thing that I've been practicing lately in the Fullerton Dream Circle is communication with dream characters. It's really interesting what they say and how they say it. Yeah.
Also, a typical beginner's mistake that I always make still all the time. You wake up and instead of doing like 2 or 3 reality checks, first thing you write down your dream or you go
Yeah.
about your day. So one thing to prevent, I guess, like false awakenings is once you wake up, do reality checks immediately
Yeah,
and not
reality
just
checks are
one.
important.
It's like you get
Yeah.
trapped as a lucid dreamer.
I've had so many false awakenings coming from lucid dreams. It's been pretty frustrating at times, but
Yeah.
it's kind of fun once you finally wake up.
Yeah.
Once you finally wake up, then it's fun.
Wow, that was really almost actually my favorite lucid dream I've ever heard from a lucid dreamer. So I'm really glad Nikki got to share this amazing story.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to share.
He's also, I'm gonna include some little clips of his art because he's a dream artist or mirror artist.
I'm a mirror artist. I work with mirrors and glass, although I get a lot of my images from my dreams. There's my favorite piece. I had a very powerful lucid dream a few years ago where I was visited by an angel, and I was at that point where I put that image onto my artwork. It's one of my favorite pieces. Um, so all my stuff is online. That piece, it's called Veda. And if you go to YouTube and look up Nicky Alice Veda, I have a time lapse video of me making it. But that angel piece is one of my favorite lucid dreams. So yeah, thank you for mentioning. I do a lot of artwork that's inspired by dreams.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I've seen it myself. If you guys local, he exhibits in Laguna Beach a lot of times, which is such a beautiful place. Check out his stuff. I'm gonna link all his links in the description. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Maybe you have another follow-up question for Nikki. I'm gonna definitely see him. I'm gonna be around. And if you like having him as a guest speaker, let us know and leave some love for Nikki. Thank you guys so much. See you next week.